Hello everybody, welcome back to Back Out of the Case. This is Skyflight44, aka Sect44. Today I'm going to be playing Sonic the Hedgehog on the Game Gear. Sonic the Hedgehog on the Game Gear is one of the only good games on the Game Gear. Before anybody tries convincing me that there were good things in the Game Gear, I have like 3 things I like on the Game Gear, and I tried, personally tried last year, figuring out, is there something to the Game Gear? Did I miss anything when I was stuck playing the Game Boy? Now, for the most part, I didn't. Game Boy had Pokemon. It had quite a lot of good platformers. This thing sucked all of your money out of your wallet because of 6 AA batteries that lasted 2 hours or less. Game Boy, 2 AAA batteries versus 6 AA batteries. And that lasted a couple of hours. Enough for an entire day of Pokemon, in my case. And I will give it one thing, there are some good games on the Game Gear. Sonic the Hedgehog, the Ninja Gaiden game on the Game Gear is a personal favorite of mine, probably the one I think has the least amount of problems with it. And Gunstar Heroes. There actually was a Game Gear version of that game. That great Genesis game that was visually impressive in a lot of areas. The Game Gear game actually was just as visually impressive because it was on a Game Gear. It actually a lot of those impressive moments, like the like that sphere guy and the computer core, whatever it was, in the game, was actually in the Game Gear version. That was pretty good. But oh well, I should be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I've played multiple versions of this game. The only real difference between all of them is whether there's a little bit of slowdown, a lot of slowdown, or even more slowdown. Now, this game has slowdown, and that's pretty much its biggest fault. Not too bad in some areas, like the final zone. There's slowdown, but it doesn't get too bad. Bridge zone has some bad slowdown, but it's generally regulated to one area, or at least one instance. And Labyrinth Zone. Oh, Labyrinth Zone is absolutely terrible. And just to slow down. But the 3DS version, which is the best version of the game, allows you, for the most part, to get rid of all slowdown. That's a good thing. Really good thing. And if you're actually going out to get this game, if you ever want to get this game, and you have a 3DS, you can go buy that version. Hell of a lot better than any other version. Before I even start talking about the game, one more thing. I beat the game like 8 times on the 3DS within a very short amount of time. I could beat the Labyrinth Zone boss so easily, very quickly too, like within one actual run. And then I've tried and record it last year. I tried to record this game, and I was emulating it. I wasn't actually going and playing it on the Mega Collection, but I tried emulating it, and goddamn, muscle memory sucks when you're playing a game that has slowdown versus what you were playing and what you remembered in the one that didn't have slowdown. I died. I lost 15 lives and game over at that Labyrinth Zone boss. Just gonna throw that out there. Because my muscle memory was telling me I could do shit that I couldn't do. Oh, I hate this game so much. Same time, I love this game. This is Bridge Zone. Bridge Zone has the best music in the entire game, and it's probably the only Game Gear piece of music I think probably should have been put in Generations. Or at least a remixed version of this level track. Now, out of all the levels in the Game Gear that could have been in Generations, at least the 3DS version of Generations, this would have been the one I would have been picked too. Mainly because of the music. But, Sonic the Hedgehog on the Game Gear actually has quite a lot of different things that you really wouldn't find in a Sonic game, or at least not all that often, and it's mainly in the level gimmicks. Now, there are a lot of different level gimmicks in later actual games, like, I believe it's Sonic 2, there were the mine carts, Granted, I really don't remember too much of the other Game Gear Sonic games, mainly because I don't really like them all too much. But there's like just in general, there was the like labyrinth levels with all these pipes that you were going through. That was annoying from what I've seen. There were over these rocket shoes, paraglider, just so many fucking gimmicks that just weren't all that fun. The gimmicks in this game are generally gimmicks that appear in other platformers that just don't appear in Sonic games. Number 1, auto-scrolling. This isn't something... Auto-scrolling fits. I'm going to say fits for a Game Gear Sonic game just because slowdown happens because... you know, the Game Gear might not be able to process everything the game's going through. Well, this actually fits. However, Sonic... I'm not going to say that Sonic is all about speed. It's been about speed and platforming. It's not just been about speed. But, taking out speed is taking out pretty much Sonic's biggest characteristic over pretty much every single other platformer, like platformer protagonist. He's fast. The entire wow factor of Sonic the Hedgehog is because he's fast. Auto-scrolling doesn't really help with that. Look here, I can't do anything. I'm completely confined to this screen. And out of all of the gimmicks you can possibly put into a Sonic game, this is probably the most anti-Sonic. But, oh wow. It's not all that bad. It's just this one level that actually does it. We're going to see, you know, a couple of other gimmicks that really aren't all that bad, in my opinion. But, oh well. And this is me. This isn't like a Sonic fan or anything. Or a normal Sonic fan. I don't like to associate myself with the Sonic fan base. Even though I know there's a lot of good people in the Sonic fan base. Now, within the summer, if you've never actually seen or heard of it, Hellfire Comms pretty much hosted an entire Sonic-thon marathon with some other Sonic, you know, fans, and it was so awesome. They made like over $20,000 for charity, and it was an amazing actual event. Everything's archived on Hellfire Comms, so you ever want to see it, go and see it. It was wonderful. But yeah, if you look at it, Sonic fan base is actually really, really good. It's just those vocal people are absolutely obnoxious and complete dipshits. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Now, these special stages. I know my commentary so far has been very erratic and not just actually been about the game, but oh well. The actual special stages that you actually go into are very, very bouncy. It's the entire, you know, get 50 rings to go into it sort of thing. You can find lives, you can find rings, and you can find continues. I generally do better than this, but I'm just trying to get them over with. There's no reason to be in it. Now, how the actual scoring works for the special stages, what you should probably do, is every single special stage you go to, the score you get for rings goes up another 100. It starts at 100. If you go through 8 special stages, you're going to be, every single ring in that special stage is going to give you 800 points. So, if you actually go and get, a shitload of actual rings later on, you get a huge score bonus. Huge score bonus. And that's pretty much the way to actually win. Get a really huge score in the game. But, oh well. One of the problems with the bosses is that you never get any rings in these actual levels. So you're a one-hit wonder. Oh, God. Damn. However, these bosses are generally very, very easy. This one's actually really pathetic if you know how to go and do it. If you're actually trying to, jump on him and then leave, that boss might actually be a pain in the ass, but just trolling. Does the job really, really well. Now, after Bridge Zone, though, we're going to be going to Jungle Zone. Jungle Zone's actually probably the second best, second best zone that was introduced in this one. Actually, it might be the just second best zone in general. It's not bridged level, quality music. That shit's absolutely awesome. But the Jungle Zone theme is really, just real fine right here. Yeah, I could definitely shake my head to that. But I have no idea what happened right there. I do show a couple of my deaths in this playthrough, but not too many of them. After this point, it's really me just playing competently, even though I actually play less competently. I just don't die as frequently. But there is some amount of... The water does hinder you a little bit, or at least I'm convinced it does. But, oh well. Hey, remember that thing from Super Mario Bros. 2, which everybody always says is from Super Mario Bros. 2, even though it's in a lot of different games? Yeah, it's that little segment. I actually do like the segment, but, oh well. Now, you have to stay on this one, and wait for it to go down. If this was the Master System version of the game, you would be able to see that quite a lot better. The screen crunch in this version it's really in Jungle Zone, in which it shows any kind of real real problem. Granted, this just isn't, Game Boy. If this was Game Boy, you fall too far, you're going to die, even though there is stuff below you. Donkey Kong Land. I love Donkey Kong Land. I love all 3 Donkey Kong Land games, but that's the biggest problem in those games. You fall too fast, you die. At least in this game, you fall, you're not going to die. You can actually off-screen yourself for quite a long time in the first level, because you're just going too fast, which is, a Sonic thing. Just one of those things that, cool things about Sonic. So, as a little side tangent, I'm just going to say, one of the things Sonic has always put out that, well, not necessarily the entire fan base, but I was talking to a couple of people, and I think only really came with the modern Sonic games was the spectacle. Sonic has always been about, just spectacle. He's fast. Everything that he does is cool. You see what he does and you say, wow, I wish I could do that. You know, shit like that. He's really fast in the first game. In the second game, he gets that cool spin dash. And the third game, he runs on water, is so incredibly fast, has all these different things. He can repel. When do you get to repel? Yeah, sure, some mountain climbers get to do that shit, but I sure as hell never going to be able to do that. Sonic has always been about spectacle, though I will definitely say it wasn't until Sonic 3 and Knuckles that it ever became something that was, you know, huge. But, oh well. Sonic, this is actually another actual little gimmick that doesn't come often in Sonic the Hedgehog. And fucking spike glitches in this too. Oh well. This is another actual gimmick that isn't really in too many Sonic games. That's the vertical climb level. One of the only ones I can think of off the top of my head is Sonic Advanced, the Egg Rocket level. I don't really remember. I believe that's the name of the level. It was the one in which basically you had a certain amount of time to get to the next section of the rocket, and if you didn't, you lost. If you did, it would just set up another timer and you would go on to the next section of the level. It's actually really, really interesting. Easily my favorite level in that entire game. But, again, oh wow. Actually, coming on to just the final bit of this video, and it's the final, you know, it's the boss of the jungle zone. Actually, out of all the ones, this one is easily... A lot of the actual bosses in this game, except the first one, which can't kill you, it's not too difficult, it's just you don't have any rings at all. This one is one of the ones which you can easily scrub. It's not like the second one, which you can just roll. If you're a bit too zealous and trying to hit Eggman as much as you possibly can, you're gonna bounce into that ball. But it's not too hard, so don't really worry about it. Alright, well, see everybody. See you in the next part. Maybe I'll stop talking.